See, the most interesting thing I've ever heard over even the last few years has been this idea to fake it till you make it. Everybody wants to be able to fake it till they make it because they haven't become the person yet. They have to cheat the system and become that person in real time, which is not necessarily the way you do it, but you have to act like you have everything put together and then present that to then get and attract people to you, to your brand, to yourself, and then you slowly become that person or you slowly integrate into that newfound success that you have. That's actually the whole concept around faking it till you make it. And it's been a positive suggestion from a lot of people, from even people who are high up there. Like, you have to fake it till you make it. You have to fake it till you make it. You have to act like you have this, or you have to act like you have all of this together. And the thing is, it's like almost like a half truth. Like, halfway, yes, it's true. You need to become the person that you want to be in the future, in the present moment, of course, but you need to actually fully embody that person. You can't become the person by having all of the external things that the person has, by trying to muscle your way into all the external things that the person that you want to become have in the present moment. You can't, like, that doesn't work. And I'm going to explain why that doesn't work, but that's why I hesitate, and I actually push people away from thinking like they need to fake it till they make it, because I've seen so many people, for example, they'll fly to Dubai and like they'll rent, they won't even have money, but they'll go there and they'll like pose and act like they've gotten everything, and like they'll pose next to a car that they don't even really own or don't even rent. They just found the car around, and then they'll post it on Instagram like they're rich. Or like, you see these e-com guys that like they probably either just got started in e-com or they failed in e-com. So what they're trying to do is they want to just put themselves in these places with all of these fancy cars, all of these high luxury things, post it on Instagram, and then post a course under it, basically signaling that they made it in e-commerce, so they need to be so they get what they have perceived or what they've put out there for you to see that they have, so that you can buy that course to then get what they have, even though they've never gotten it through the actual things that they've done in that course. So this is like the internet game. It's like a grifting game, right? That's really what a grifter is. And you don't want to play that game. You don't want to play the game of faking it till you make it, even your character. So I'll give you a good example, like Hamza. Like Hamza Ahmed, a lot of you guys that watch him probably watch me as well. It's pretty interesting. I've seen some of his fans like comment. But he had this interesting podcast with Chris Williamson, I believe his name is. I've been watching Chris for a while, and he actually he not portrays, but he embodies exactly what I'm telling you to do, which is be authentic, be yourself. Like, he hasn't wavered, right? He's stayed in the true form of himself his entire YouTube journey. But with Hamza, it's interesting because I've seen this for a while, and I've seen this with other like red pill masculinity like brands, where they'll come on YouTube and they'll put on this persona. They'll put on this like hyper insane persona where you know that's not how they are in real life, right? The same ones that say, oh, you need to be with 100 women, or you need to sleep with X amount of women, even though they may have literally just like one girlfriend that they've lived with for the last 5 years. I've literally seen that with multiple like of these like masculinity creators or these red pill creators. They're like, oh, monogamy doesn't make sense. You need to have multiple women, but they're living with one woman. But they have to portray this image so that they can convince people that that's what you need to do, so they can sell you a dating course. You know what I mean? Or they can sell you a coaching program on how to get a lot more women, even though they really just have one woman, and they could really just be talking about having one woman and what a long-term relationship looks like. That's more realistic. Most people, if not everybody, is not going to want to be with 5 different people. And when you get to that point and you actually have that, you'll realize it's not necessarily the best option. I've had that before. It's not the best option, right? That's why I went back to just having one. But I digress. You see a lot of that acting from that perspective. Then you start seeing the acting when it comes down to like the persona of the person. So going back to Hamza, he's like this like person that yells and like, says you're trash and like you're nobody unless you follow my thing. Like this whole persona, this whole like a-hole persona, this like deep voice, alpha male. I don't smile. I stay very stoic, whatever that means. Like, it's all a persona. It wasn't really him throughout the whole process. Yes, did he evolve? 100%. I think he evolved personally, but he was faking it. He was faking this persona that wasn't him. It was like putting on a mask and then showing up on camera, being this different person, giving contradicting advice because he wasn't living in his authentic self. He was actually living in the self that he created as a persona for the actual YouTube that he created. And all of these people followed that persona. And the problem with that is it creates this almost like disillusionment that you have with yourself where everyone loves this persona that you're giving out, but it's not really you. And so even though you quote unquote make it by faking it, you don't feel the benefits of actually making it because it wasn't you. It wasn't earned. It wasn't like you being who you were and actually transforming into this person, like literally actually transforming into this person. And then people following that transformation. It was actually you portraying yourself to be this person the whole time. And everyone was following that portrayal. And even though other people got positively impacted by it, you don't feel it. That's why he said in the interview, he was like, there are men who will send me messages saying that I helped them through life, or I kept them from committing, offing themselves or committing suicide. Like, he has all of these messages that are being sent to him, but he doesn't feel it. He doesn't care because it wasn't him that did it. It was the persona. I can even go as extreme as looking at someone like Andrew Tate. It's like, there's a persona. That's not who he really, like what you see on social media is not who he really is in person. Now, it may work for some people because some people may have some screws loose to where like they're okay with not being their authentic self and putting on this act and honestly becoming that person. That's very rare that someone could do that. I think Andrew Tate is an exception to that. But most of these creators are not being their authentic selves. They're faking it till they make it. And my whole thing with you, I'm telling you that you definitely should move into the authentic side. That's what I've been doing. That's literally my entire channel. It's just me being who I am. Me saying exactly what I believe, exactly what I'm doing. I'm not giving you contradicting advice. I'm telling you exactly my point of view. And the thing is, it's okay if people disagree with that, because that's the whole point around it. You want to have people who disagree with your main core philosophies of life, because that's going to challenge you, which is going to make you better. And the core philosophies that you've created or that you are creating are never going to change. So when you see someone whose core philosophy changes every week, you have to ask yourself, did they fake it till they made it? Probably. And that's why you shouldn't do that, because an authentic brand will stand the test of time. A fake brand will only get quick results, fast rises, but they'll fall as quick as they possibly can because there's no foundation. See, for me right now, I'm building a foundation. Even though it may seem like my rise is faster than usual, in my mind, it's slower because what I want is a lot bigger. So I'm kind of moving at a different pace because I already have a bigger vision. I have a bigger vision of what the brand will look like, but I'm laying the foundations of my core philosophies now, which is what you're watching. Authenticity, not faking it till I make it. Do I have access to cars that I can go act like I have and all that? Yeah, I do. But why would I do that if I don't own them? Why would I do that? Can I go act like I have a huge mansion somewhere because I know someone who owns it and I can go just, sure. But why would I do that? What's the point? Portraying wealth? No, let me go really get it first. Show you how I got it. And then do that other side, right? And then actually be in that house, actually have the car. And then just not even like showcase it. That's just my day-to-day life. See, that's how you'll also know that someone faked it. Because even when they do stumble upon what they have, it's not even an expectation that they were supposed to have what they have. They're even surprised to the point where they have to flex it everywhere because they have to prove to people that they are the person who they've masked themselves to be. And the thing is, those certain individuals that have faked it and actually somewhat made it, they just rot away and they constantly just cut down and they cut down and they cut down and everything just starts getting cut down. and they just cannot maintain that level of quote unquote success because they never earned it. So it always gets cut back down, back to zero. And that's what you see with Hamza. He's risen so fast. And he's gotten to where he's gotten to with this fake persona that now there's no other way but for him to start crumbling back down to his original state. Because his original state didn't get the results that he has now. It was this fabricated state, this fabricated mask that got to that. So when he starts to chip at the mask and when he starts to say that in public and people start to see it, he has to rebound back down. And then he can build back up for sure. But he has to have that downward spiral, which is going on right now, right? Which is okay. I think, you have to learn from your mistakes. He's young, right? He's almost the same age as me, pretty much. And it's gonna come with that. There's gonna be growing pains. But for you, you should be taking lessons from these people who are rising very quickly with these outrageous personas that you clearly know that's not them behind closed doors. All of these different viewpoints that they have that clearly don't make any sense, make no logical sense whatsoever. But for some reason, they built a cult-like following. That's, by the way, that's how you build a cult-like following. You go against the traditional grain, whatever traditions that are stuck in that moment, you go far against it, and then you create a us versus them mentality, and then you build these extreme principles that people need to follow. And you keep drilling that in every single day. That's how you build it. That's like the fundamental way to build a cult. You go against the traditional, whatever establishment it is. You have an us versus them mentality. You then embody the character that is this almighty character that has all of the right answers, and you speak with absolute conviction, and you start to get people to embody that, because people are always looking for the better way. People are always looking for a messiah, a savior. People are always looking for, this could be better. This is a better path. They will always go if you speak with complete conviction. I speak with complete conviction, but that's only because I actually know what I'm saying. I've actually lived what I'm saying. I could be young. I'm 27, but I feel like I've lived 100 lives already. I've done so many things. I've gone through so many troughs and issues and had massive issues, spent 6 figures on different things. Like, I've literally been through so much to where I can sit here and tell you these stories, these distillations of my thoughts, and they actually make sense to you because you're probably feeling the same way. You're probably on an earlier path. But the answer in this day and age is to be as authentic as you can. Be yourself. See the things that you actually are interested in. Like, put them into your actual brand and become who you are online. Don't have a persona. Don't try to be this high flying or this super crazy person, because it will catch up to you over time. But if you build an authentic brand, people will love you for who you are. And as you continue to rise, you will have fulfillment in building this brand that you have. And it will be a lot easier to be able to expand. It will be a lot easier to be this person. You don't need to stay in a room when you go on a podcast and really just hype yourself up to be this specific hyper alpha male guy. And then you get on the podcast, you put on this persona, you leave and you feel drained. See, if you feel drained after creating content, it's because you're not being your authentic self, and you need to do that. And you need to learn what that is. You need to learn what your pillars are, your 3 pillars of who you are, what you believe in, and then create content around those pillars and just create around that. That's how you do it. There's so many other aspects to it. There's strategy. Obviously, I have a strategy for what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I've thought about this for a year before I even came up with it, and it's working. You can see it is working. It's been 3 months so far. It's been one of the best 3 months I've had on any social platform, because I understand this platform. I understand how to build an audience on this platform, and it's going to only continuously increase. But you need to have an authentic brand. And if you want to build your own personal brand, you want to be able to monetize it in the future, kind of like what I'm doing now. See, I'm at the early stages. It's better to get an early stage person to help you through the process, because they understand how to currently do it. Because if you find someone who's already had 1 million subscribers, but they did it years ago, all they're going to tell you are things that worked years ago. Now there are different rules to the game. There are different ways to be able to make this happen. So that's the whole goal. So if you're interested, tap the link below, one-on-one free consultation with me on just figuring out you know, whether, you know, you need help with your brand, how you can actually structure your brand, position it, how you can actually build an audience online and then monetize it and just make money being you. I can help you with that. And we can figure out if it makes sense to be able to work together. But either way, I appreciate you for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend who is faking it too much right now to try to make it, and they need to be their authentic self. And I will catch you on the next video.